Hello everybody, welcome back to Pokemon 3DS. In the last episode we left off here in Rosborough City, and in today's episode everybody's up to level 15. Let's do a very quick team check before we go into the actual gym, which is going to be difficult to deal with, I'm sure. Everybody's level 15, Pat Food now has Vine Whip, Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, which is going to be great for capturing new Pokemon, and Poison Powder. Easter has learned Harden and Rock Throw, which means that he's now somewhat useful because he's got an actual type move. Roger hasn't changed at all, almost level 16, so probably will evolve during this episode. Precious has Tackle, Defense, Curl, Mud Sport, and Rock Throw. I don't think anything changed there either. There might not be any change at all to him because he's a trade evolution, or she, I'm sorry. That might be an issue. And now we have Bar with Pound, Rage, and Water Gun. And that is going to be our team for the first gym in the Hoenn region. It's probably going to be a fairly short episode because I plan on only doing the gym and then maybe like the Wingull event as well. Am I going to avoid these trainers? I think I am because everybody's already at level 15. And am I? We might as well fight them. We might as well fight them. I got a couple more potions. I bought one super potion just in case, and we are going to... Still, the graphical glitches, I probably should look into that, really. This is like the 4th episode in Hoenn now. Also, last episode, I said that we were like high 30s, low 40s. This is, I think, episode like 48. So, Torkoal's not a thing I want to be out against. So, yeah, definitely we're like 10 episodes more into the series than I thought we were going to be. And hopefully this episode is going to be a little bit more talking about actually like not the game. I kind of doubt that we'll be able to not talk about the game much because it's going to be a difficult fight. But I've been talking a lot about both the game and like general channel updates and stuff in the last couple of episodes because obviously I've been a little bit sick and the state of the world and everything, and then we just end up going and going and going and going, and that was everything there was to that fight. So that wasn't too big of a deal. But I have actually not mentioned yet one very important thing. We're not going to do a double battle. One very important, well, not a very important thing, but you might have noticed the like animation that has been present throughout the last like 5 episodes, which I need to change that because the word like is now black, which means that when it's on a black background, you can barely read it. So I'm going to render that with a white material instead. But that's something I custom made in Blender because I've been learning a little bit of 3D modeling and 3D animation. Basic things. It's not anything, there's not going to be any like Toy Story coming out of this channel. Well, it wouldn't be on this channel probably anyway. Anytime soon. But that is my end goal, not to make Toy Story, but to like be able to switch out from Dratini. To be able to make basic 3D animated shorts. That is my end goal, and then obviously also like being able to use those skills for visual effects and live action footage. That is also something that comes with that. I've been learning that, and there might be like more animations and like more intro stuff, and maybe if I do a top 10 kind of thing again, which I've got all the time in the world now in the coronavirus crisis, so I might like start writing a top 10 video, and I might like do, the numbers might be 3D animated rather than just 2D animated, stuff like that. I just need to find challenges for myself to overcome in an interesting way, because right now I have learned the basics and the interface a little bit, and I am really started to struggle to progress with learning. The first like week and a half, the first 10 days of me learning went very, very quickly, but now I'm feeling like that's flattening off a little bit. And not because I have learned everything there is to learn, because that's going to take years and years of time, and that's not happening anytime soon. But it's just the things I want to do are so much more advanced than the things I can do right now. I need to find something in between to slowly but surely walk me up to that, but it's really difficult sometimes to come up with things that are just slightly outside of my capabilities right now, so that I do need to grow in my skills in order to complete it, but not so far that it's unrealistic for me to actually accomplish. And that is a very fine balance, and that is like when you're self-teaching something, that's always a fairly difficult thing to get right, because when you are in school, that is entirely what like a lessons program is based on. Ramping up difficulty time by time again, little, so that you're always just outside of your comfort zone in the things you're learning. When you're self-teaching, you need to find that border of your comfort zone yourself and find something that's just outside of it. And I also applied for a freelance job, somebody who wanted a 3D logo animation. Because it's like, okay, so we are learning move naturally still. That's very good, because magnitude is going to be very useful. Because I've been playing around a little bit by myself, but the real way to learn is to push yourself into a situation where you're not entirely, at least for me, I'm not recommending this to anybody else because it's a very stressful way to learn. To push yourself into a situation where you're not entirely certain that you can deliver on what you're supposed to deliver, but still you have the pressure of, you're supposed to deliver something, so you better come up with something. And having a third-party, a client's perspective on, well, this is what I want, so you find a way to do it, can be very helpful with that as well. Because when you're just doing practice projects, sometimes you're like, you know what, it's not exactly what I envisioned, it's not exactly what I wanted to do, but honestly, it works well enough. Whereas if you're doing something for somebody else, you can't take those kinds of shortcuts as easily anyway. So that's a little bit of a push in the direction of gotta figure it out and maybe restart the entire project from because I made a mistake in modeling the thing, which now means that it doesn't animate very well. Something like that. Okay, so you only have 4 Pokemon, which is still more than you usually would have, but you don't have 6 Pokemon, which confuses me a little bit. I guess I'm lucky there. I was entirely planning on this having 6 Pokemon. Still, I think the IVs for the Pokemon we're facing right now, this Mawile, are going to be fairly high. So let's see what this magnitude... Magnitude 9! Hell yeah! That should take you out instantly. That was the first Pokemon. That wasn't too big of a deal, honestly. Let's see. Then we have an Anorith. I'm gonna stay in because if I get another Magnitude 9, you're done for as well. And I don't really have anything else to deal with Anorith anyway. I don't think. Because you're a rock type, Magnitude 6, that'll probably still do a very good amount of damage. Probably enough to not take it out because you're a bug type. I have nothing for bug rock types, do I? I do! I've got Bob. Precious is out right now. Let's keep it with Precious because I don't know what this Anorith is going to do. And probably the Anorith can't really do anything against me either, because it probably only has Scratch. We might never find out if it had any other moves. Now, oh, a Reggie. Oh, that's not good. We've got Pet Food. We've got Pet Food. The Reggies, while legendary Pokemon, aren't very good. Legendary Pokemon, they're good for normal Pokemon. They're not very good for... You have Explosion. You only have Explosion. I need to outspeed and kill you. Or I need to put you to sleep. You have Explosion. Reggie's start... The base moveset is Explosion, and I don't think they learn any other moves until level 30. Or at least not enough to replace Explosion. Oh my god, you take that so well. So he's gonna explode in my face if he wakes up. We just need to hope that you don't wake up. We should be good. We should be good. You have an item. You have an item. I don't like the fact that you have an item. Oh, now you're gonna... And you have a potion. Leader Vax. Huh. They're also named after people in the Discord. I do believe all of the... You have 2 potions. Okay. All the gym leaders. Which... Vax. It's not somebody that is active anymore, I don't think. There's probably somebody that's still in the... You have Rock Throw. I mean, I don't mind, because that's better than getting exploded on, I suppose. But, I don't think you'd have a good move. Well, Rock Throw, admittedly, isn't a real good move. And then we have Muck. How are we going to deal with you? I guess by sending out Roger because I want Roger to evolve. I need that fighting type on my team. And Roger is so damn, as you can see, so damn close to evolving. Literally like 10 experience until evolution. And they should be able to deal a decent amount of damage. Muck is fairly bulky. Muck is really bulky. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. But then what? Can't use pet food, really. Wait a second. Ground is super effective against poison, isn't it? Isn't it? I think it is. So magnitude should deal a decent amount of damage against you. And as long as I don't get poisoned, thank you, we should be fine here. That's magnitude 6. I'm getting fairly lucky with these magnitudes, by the way. I started with a 9, then got a 6, a 7, and another 6. Okay, so that was Leader Vax, which usually is Roxanne, but okay, now we got a 5. But you're low on HP anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. That was the first gym leader. We got that down. And Roger is level 16 now, trying to learn Pack, which I guess we have a flying type move on the team. It's better than having nothing. We're also going to get double kick in a moment here. And I'm going to drink some water because my throat is very dry. And Corona filled, or just cold filled, I don't know. And that is our first badge. And another evolution in this episode, so if I don't get too used to this, there's probably going to be yet another evolution in this episode, by the way, because I want Bob to evolve as well, which should happen at level 16 too. So all of our starter Pokemon are going to evolve in this episode. But other than that, I don't think I even have anything that can evolve. I mean, Nosepass can't evolve yet, and Golem is already a max evolution Pokemon. So, but we might have... Oh yeah, double kick, I just mentioned that. We might have a opportunity to catch another Pokemon if we go to... Well, it's probably going to be next episode, honestly, because that's going to be in Dewford. Yeah, we're not going to be able to catch anything until Dewford, and that's going to be a while. We need to take care of the team Magma/Aqua, I don't know which one, first, and then we need to actually go to Dewford. And as I said, it's probably not going to be too long of an episode, and we've got some cutscenes to mash through, and we're already 13 minutes into this recording, which, again, it's probably going to be about a 20-minute episode rather than a 30-minute episode, because I'm trying to, like, not exhaust myself too much. Yeah. Gonna speed through that. Let's heal up very quickly, and let's lead with Bob, because I want Bob to evolve as well. And as I said last episode, by the way, the Articunos really did help with the grinding, especially for the Pokemon that are super effective against ice and or flying. But the patches of grass outside where we caught Precious obviously has Golems in it, and Golem also gives a lot of experience. So for Bob and Pet Food, I mostly did my grinding there. So what I did is for Bob and Pet Food, I did my grinding there. For Precious and Easter, I did my grinding in the Whismur Cave. And obviously, Roger didn't need any grinding because it was already at level 15. Can you please shut up? I know you're going to give me like another Great Ball, I think. I might have to get some more Pokeballs anyway, because I don't think I have any Pokeballs left. Also, the Squirtles here, which gave a little bit of experience to Pet Food. It wasn't that much, but hey, at least it's a little bit of a free experience. We could also take on those dudes if we've got time left today in this episode, which we probably will, honestly, so might as well do that. Okay, let's see. I think you have, like, more than one Pokemon. Previously, we had one Pokemon. You have one Pokemon. It's a Vigoroth. It's at least a little bit more menacing than a Fanfei. Fanfei? Fanfei. I don't know which one it is. You can't encore me into a move that I haven't used yet, is the thing. You're gonna encore me again, aren't you? You're not! You're using Uproar, which is very fitting for the situation we're in right now. Or the area we're in, I should say. So you have Encore and Uproar, and that's it. That's not too dangerous, honestly. I would very much like you to give me enough experience to level up here, though, because, as you can see, while Bob obviously being a literal god, It's still a Totodile, and statistics-wise, Croconaw is better. And I think we should evolve right here, right now. So, this episode title is definitely something to do with it. We don't! Huh. That is surprising to me. Is it level 17? Level 18. Wait a second, doesn't the Croconaw evolution is later, but the Feraligatr evolution is earlier than usual, I think? Something like that. The Gen 2 evolutions for the starters always confuse me. I mean, we can get to level 17 now. No bother at all. Yeah, I'm speeding through this because this is a lot of dialogue boxes and I don't really care about any of this. We need to go to Dewford and we can go there. Yeah, we have a Pokénav now. Or we have something added to our Pokénav, I don't remember. We need to go to Dewford by boat. Don't really care about it. So, we're 16 minutes in. We can go to Dewford. We could go to Dewford, honestly. Oh, please select a Pokénav. Fuck off, please. Hoenn map. Call. I don't really give a shit. I guess we could go to Dewford and catch the Pokemon in the cave there to end of this episode and fill out our team so that I can grind that Pokemon up to a decent level. Because next episode we're probably taking on the second gym right away. Because we go through the Dark Cavern or the Dewford Cavern or whatever it's called. Then immediately, or even before that if we wanted to. That's May. That is May. That may be an issue. Because I think we might have to fight May. And I really prefer not to fight May right now. We are healed up though. We're in a pretty decent shape, I'd say, to fight May. We're gonna find out. I can't say no here, can I? I can't say no. I can't say no to that. I have to. So how many Pokemon do you have now? You've got 3. Starting with a Celebi. Starting with a Celebi. That's not a very great lead from me, to be honest. But we'll... fighting type now. You probably don't have Ancient Power yet. You probably don't have a Psychic type move yet at all. Maybe you've got Psy Wave. But I kind of doubt it. I think Celebi shouldn't be that big of an issue, now I think about it. Probably an Amber will... You have Confusion! Never mind! That could be bad. I took that fairly well, actually. And you're not going to take this as... You took that just as well. And Min-Max could take me out here. So I need to switch. But not into Power Food because you're a poison type. I guess Precious? Do you have a Grass type move? Would you have a Grass type move yet? I don't think you'd have a Grass type move yet. If you have a Grass type move, I'm done for. But I don't think you will. You have Confusion and Safeguard. You might have like Absorb? You could have Absorb. But I don't think you will. I don't think you will. I think we'll be fine. Depending on what the last Pokemon is, my rival, which is myself, which is still really weird, has... Oh, obviously it's going to be Totodile. Obviously that's going to be Totodile. Or a Croconaw by now, actually. That might be a Croconaw. It's still a Totodile. Okay, that shouldn't be an issue. It's really cruel that I do have to kill Totodile time and time again. Oh, that's... Celebi was your first Pokemon, not just... I could still be in trouble. Vine Whip should take out Totodile, no... issue. When Totodile gets Ice Fang, which I think happens only once it becomes a Feraligatr, like very late levels, Fortress, that shouldn't be an issue. That's gonna be a big issue for me. With my current team, anyway. If I have an electric type, I'll be able to counter that, but I can't use Pet Food for that anymore. Oh my god, I hate this. Because Protect doesn't do anything other than stall your death. Okay, so honestly, that was a bit of a scary battle. That was not an easy battle. But we did it, and now we need to heal up again before we can go to Dewford. Not in the Pokemon though, because they're actually different buildings. In this generation. In this region, actually. Canonically speaking, in this region. Because even in Gen 6, right, where they're in X and Y, Pokemon Sandstone, Pokemon Mart, same building, go into a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, back to the home region, they're separate buildings again. And I am kind of happy with the fact that they choose to do that. It's such a small little thing, which doesn't really matter. But it really preserves the feeling and just like the world of Hoenn and Gen 3. And for a remake, I think that is important. So let's go back and try to capture that one last Pokemon Fire team before we end off this episode. Oh, one thing I always loved doing as a kid was making him poke me in the butt. Is that childish? Yeah, that's why I love doing it as a kid. Don't care about any of this. Thank you. Okay, so let's go find myself a trainer battle. I didn't know that you were a trainer. I mean, I knew that talking to a lot of these fishermen you can battle them, but I didn't know that. Oh, you only have one Pokemon. That's gonna be easy. Bob needs some experience anyway, so we'll be fine. Let's use a Rage here because I feel like Water Gun might not do. Fuck you. Rage didn't do a lot either. And Leah. My god, why does everybody want to kill Bob? Bob has done nothing wrong to you. You're only going to be using Leah, are you? Oh, no, 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 no. No! That's my fault. Admittedly. That is my fault. Didn't even get to be a Croconaw. You're gonna die now. You're gonna die a very, very quick death. And a critical hit. Probably shouldn't have stayed in with Bob after like 4 or 5 Leas. That is definitely on me. Fuck you, Fisherman Fred. I don't like you. I really don't like you. Let's replace Bob. Which means that Bob is also going to just be dead for the rest of the series, so we're never going to get Bob back. Unless I come up with like a bullshit excuse to bring Pokemon back from the dead box in later generations, but I don't really want to do that. So that's been it for Bob. Let's see what our replacement water type is going to be. We've got Deus, which is a shiny, which is nice. We've got N64. We've got Shelly. We've got Olaf. We've got Sheldon. Let's go with Sheldon. Just because Sheldon is a shiny and also a starter. So I'm definitely going to have to do some grinding now. Because Sheldon is going to need to be leveled up to level 15 at least as well. Depending on what the levels are in the next gym. Potentially higher than level 15. Wait a second, don't you get the old rod in this town somewhere? Because in that case I might be able to... I'll Google that. I'll Google that. While we walk towards the cave here, I'll Google that. Let's see. Google Assistance. Pokemon Emerald Old Rod. That's insult to injury, isn't it? That is insult to injury. Fuck you, game. That's not very nice. I don't like that. That's not very nice. Go to Dewford Town, talk to the fisherman standing right to the gym. Whatever he asks, says yes, and he'll give you the old rod. Okay, so we can get a couple more encounters here, which means that we can start to actually switch around Pokemon to build a proper team. And First we get a Bob, which we cannot capture because Bob literally just died, and now we have a Standler. Honestly, if this kills the Standler, it doesn't. Okay, so you are fairly bulky. I'll give you that. You're more bulky than I give you credit for. Let's leech seed you because I want to limit how long this takes. And I can't vine whip you anyway, and I do want your HP to be lower as well. So there's a lot of reasons to leech seed. Could come back to bite me in the butt, but honestly, it's a Standler. If I don't end up catching it, I won't lose any sleep over it. I'm sorry to say, I just won't care too much. I've got like 2 tries, I think, to get him before he like dies. And I'm not even going to waste my Great Ball. And also, I already had 9 Pokeballs, apparently. So I bought a lot of Pokeballs for nothing. And Standler's catch rate isn't that bad anyway. So we got a Standler, whoop-de-fucking-do. Nobody cares. If Standler is your favorite Pokemon, I'm very sorry, but nobody cares. So we're going to call you, I'm going to call you Null because you look a little bit like type Null. And Null is like, it's 0, it's nothingness, and that is about what Standler's usefulness level is. So I think Null is a good name for a Standler. Let's see, you should give me the old rod in that case, right? So now in theory we can go back to catch a lot of Pokemon, but for the time being we're going to limit ourselves to Dewford and Route 106. Can you please shut up? And Route 107 actually, apparently. So let's... we also have Rock Tomb, which I don't really care about too much. Key items, Old Rod, Register, and let's do that. No, not going back into the menu. I'm using my PlayStation 4 controller, by the way, now, rather than my Xbox controller, because that thing is just dead. Not even a nibble. We're gonna get a nibble. Mind my words, we're gonna get a nibble. Sooner or later, we're gonna get a nibble. We better. Okay, maybe not. I can't speed through this either, because you do need to... Fuck off! Surely I can get something with the old... Oh, a bite. There we go! Route 107, our encounter is going to be a Flareon, which I think... Would that count as Species Clause or Dupes Clause? Because I already have an Eevee, so I don't think I can... I don't think I can get a Flareon. But Flareon might be the... I definitely already have a Sunkern as well. Now I'm getting Pokemon left, right and center. I don't know how many encounters there are going to be that I can even get here. I think it might just be Flareon and Sunflora, honestly. So let's try one more. Let's try one more. It got away. Let's try one more. Let's try one more without using the speed button. Okay. This is getting real tedious real quickly. You know what? Route 107 just doesn't want to give us anything. Do for town. Let's see. I don't even know if there's a catch list for fishing here. I'm assuming that there is. But it might just reference the catch list of Route 107 or 106, honestly. It got away. There is... Okay, stop using the speed button. It doesn't work for fishing, clearly. Man, has there always been that low of a chance of actually getting something? I feel like that has been... Hello, TN. I feel like that has been changed in more recent generations, where the chance of actually getting a fish Pokemon on the hook are way, way, way higher than this. Octillery, I don't think we have a Remoraid. This might be a better water type than Sheldon, honestly. So let's leech seed it, put it to sleep, and throw a Great Ball at it. Yeah. I think Octillery might actually be kind of nice to have. Though, for right now it would be. By the time we get to the point where Sheldon will be a Blastoise, definitely Sheldon would be. Please hit. Definitely Sheldon as a Blastoise will be better, but as a War Turtle, I think Octillery might be better. That's a really weird constructed sentence. I don't mean Octillery as a War Turtle. I mean Sheldon as a War Turtle versus Octillery. I think Octillery would be better. So we might go with Octillery. Also, Great Ball because higher catch rate because evolved Pokemon and such. Okay, so that's another capture. I'm not going to decide on the team right now because we still have one more Pokemon to capture, obviously. We're going to call you Octo because I always do. If you don't know the origin of that name, first and foremost, it seems like a fairly obvious name. And secondly, go watch my Black Randomize on Nuzlocke, the latest one. I think I had an Octillery there, and I named it Octo as well, and I gave the whole explanation as to why. Because I think Octillery doesn't actually have 8 legs either, right? That's the whole thing with Squidward. Dusclops, you're definitely gonna be on the team. I hope you won't die, because I would very much like a Dusknoir in Gen 4 onwards. But I want you on the team, because Dusclops, while not being very powerful, is really, really, really bulky. Ridiculously bulky. One of the few ghost type Pokemon I think that are bulky rather than strong as well. And it will be nice to have for just type variety as well, because I don't think I have a lot of ghost types. This might actually be the first ghost type I have. Because Gen 1... Do I have a Mischievous? I don't think I have a Mischievous. Gen 1 has the Gengar trio, which I don't think I have any trio. It's the evolutionary line. I don't know why I call it a trio. The Gengar evolutionary line, which I don't think I have. And then Gen 2 has Mischievous. I think that's all the ghost type Pokemon up until Gen 3, where we obviously got Dusclops and Dusclops and Dusknoir. Dusknoir obviously is the next gen. So there might not be a lot of ghost types as it is, but both Mischievous, while not being very good, and the Gengar line are fairly offensive, I do believe. I know Mischievous is fairly especially offensive. So that's going to be all of our encounters, I think, for the time being, because we can't make our way back to Route 105 from here. We need Surf for that. So next time we're taking on the cave and the gym in Dewford Town. And I'm going to reshape the team a little bit to see what we're going to bring in. And I'm going to look up the levels for the gym so that I can be prepared for it. I'm probably going to do the gym first, I'd say. Partly because that allows you to use Flash, but I don't have the HM for Flash yet, so that's not going to actually help me. Until the next time, I've vlogger, you've been awesome. We've had no jump cuts this episode. I've had a tingly, cough-wanting throat the entire time, though. So I'll see you all back next time. Bye.